We're live. All right. Hey, everybody. Here's some theme music. Everyone needs the theme music, right? This isn't really an episode of the podcast, but might as well. Some people are here. Oh, my goodness. Are there any questions that I should address yet? If there's questions you want me to answer, ask them again. I'm not going to scroll through everything. I'm doing things a little bit different this time. I did a live video last week, and it was pure chaos. And I love chaos as much as anyone, but I think things have become a little bit too overwhelming for the viewers to do things that way, to just let everyone in and let all the noise happen. So we're going to do things a little different and see if we can put the reins on this a little bit and make it more cohesive as far as a viewable content situation goes. Michael Krause says, it was awful. It was pretty rough last week. So what I'm going to do is, if any of my content creator YouTuber friends join in, then I know they know how to hold down a mic. I know they know how to, address headphone issues and things like that, and I'll let them hang out. But audience guests, you're going to be ruled by the 5-minute sand timer here, and we're going to give people a chance one at a time to ask questions, to tell a story, to do a show and tell if you've got some gear to show off or anything like that. So if anyone wants to join, they're welcome to. There's a Jim waiting to join, but I don't see any video. There they are. There they are. Hey, Jim.
Hey, Ryan. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm a new, a relatively recent convert, and I've been slamming massive quantities of the of the videos.
A convert. We're a religion now. I like it.
Well, but in the interest of being brief, the question I have, I sort of did a hybrid affordaboard. So I have the Azor Pure Boost is great. I love that, and I have an Azor delay. I got the Behringer FX 600 because I don't play a heavy effect sound. I usually play a Strat, or I have the Ibanez AF75 through an old Vox Cambridge. Actually, I could tell you a super quick story about that. That's a really good story. But the question I have, I'll ask the question, then I can tell you the story. I have a Marshall Governor, and I can never figure out quite how to use it without it just being pure balls out overdrive.
Which overdrive it is? Sorry, I changed
the Marshall Governor.
Oh, the Marshall Governor.
Yeah.
Well, that's a full-on like drive pedal. I don't have a lot of experience with those, but my impression has always been that they're a dirt pedal. You're not going to get like a clean blend.
Well, so I used to use it back in the day. I've been playing for a long time, but back in the day in the 90s when I was playing and touring and such, it was like pure heavy drive. I had that and a Rat, and I had 2 Fender Twins, one slaved off the other, and every sound man on earth. Yes, and every sound man on earth hated me because it was overwhelmingly loud. But
nice.
But
that's a lot of twins. 2 twins equals 4 siblings.
Yeah.
If you think
right. I have like a 68 twin, no gain, straight twin, and then I have like some crazy 80s twin that has these like 16-ton Fane speakers in them that I actually bought from some guy who he bought it from Lee Renaud from Sonic Youth. So I ended up with that. But it was you know what it was? It was a great practice sound. It was a terrible stage sound because it was just way too loud for stage. But it was fantastic practice.
So, 2 twin reverbs, that's so loud no one can actually hear anymore. Like there's no air left in the room for anyone.
Yeah. That's kind of what it was like.
You're pushing all the air out the building and it's just a vacuum.
Yeah, I think people were having a hard time breathing when it was.
Yeah. People are turning blue in the front row and their ears are bleeding.
But here I could give you a good story about my Vox. Sure. I have a 66 Vox Cambridge that is just fantastic. It's great. And it's all original. I just had it sort of redone and tuned up. And I got good guy to do it. So he didn't replace the tubes. He was able to keep the original tubes. But the way I got the amp, my wife's grandmother, who lived, I'm in New Jersey. My wife's grandmother lived in West Orange, New Jersey. South Orange, New Jersey. And she was, at this point, she was around 90. And she was living by herself in this gigantic old house. And she had a gigantic 2-car garage next to the house. And it was stacked floor to ceiling with junk. And we pulled in to visit her one day, and the garage door was open. And it was my wife and I, and she was alone in the house. And the front of the garage door was this Vox Cambridge just sitting in the driveway.
Nice.
And I picked it up, and I walked into my wife's grandma, and I said, Grandma, do you know where this came from? And she's like, no. And I said, do you mind if I take it? And she said, sure. And so I got my 66 Vox Cambridge apparently from the gods.
Wow. It came out of nowhere.
Yeah. It was pretty, here it's all paint spattered, but it's the real deal. It's
wow. That's amazing.
Sorry. Where are we? No, I can't get the angle right.
Did she think it was like just like a stereo speaker or something like that?
She had no clue. At that point, she was 90. She how it ever got there, because there it is. That's it. I guess you can see it now. But it's all original. It's completely untouched. And it sounds fantastic. And
That's amazing.
And I've now evolved in my old age to the perfect stage amp, because it doesn't get super loud. But the thing that it does is, at 2, it's getting enough breakup that it really sounds rich and nice. So I don't feel like I have to come close to diming anything to make it feel worth playing.
Totally. And it doesn't weigh nearly as much as 2 twin reverbs.
Oh, good Lord. No. No, that was the thing, the 2 twins. When we were touring, I was always the guy who dealt with loadout, because I had to deal with both of those amps. So I was the guy who loaded the van. That was it.
You're offering to trade, loadout duty with the drummer. Like, hey, I'll set the drums if you move my amps for me,
No, I never worked the bargain. It never worked out.
All right. Well, you got your 5 minutes. The sand ran out. Big Ear Pedals said, "Oh, that's where I left my amp." So I think he's coming down. Thanks for joining.
Thanks a lot, Ron. You do great stuff, man. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for joining on. Loved having you. And there we go. All right. And we also got a super chat. Part of the reason I'm doing the limits on this is because I couldn't keep up with the super chats last week either. Like, people were sending messages and money, and I couldn't read them over everyone else. So the Guitar Rabbi super chatted $1.99. Thank you, the Guitar Rabbi. He said, "Just killed a mouse. Now I'm not allowed at Disney." Rodent control is serious business, guys, and I have rat traps that I can recommend. Emily is waiting to join from Get Offset. Emily is a fellow content creator, and I know she knows how to not have extra noise and knows how to take turns in talking. So we're gonna let her hang out for a while.
I'm pretty okay at taking turns talking.
Yeah, things got a little bit wild last week.
I think that guy was on a delay.
Well, it wasn't just that guy. It was everyone all at once. And I just was sitting back for a while, like, it's gone too far. I can't control the noise. I can't figure out where the noise is even coming from. There's, everyone's got different levels of connection going on. Oh my!
6 people in one room. It's cool because people can kind of branch off and have side conversations. 6 people in a Zoom chat. People just gotta shut up and wait.
Well, I've done things before that, we've done that before and had a lot of people and it worked all right. But I think that the last week was the straw that broke the camel's back. And, I've done it before where it's been, fellow, YouTubers and stuff like that, fellow podcasters, and everyone kind of is used to a show format. It's easier to manage. So I think it'll be fun in the future, if this works out, to have a format where, maybe I have 2, content creator guests, like friends who know what they're doing. And then we bring in one audience guest member at a time. I'm going to drop the invite link in the chat in case anyone does want to join here. We got 60 people watching.
Whoa. That's more than my live earlier. I was live. I did my guitar talk.
Guitar talk. That's your guitar TikTok talks?
Yeah, my guitar TikTok talk.
Like all over TikTok. Every time I jump on TikTok, you've got like 3 new posts that I haven't seen. So
I'm catching up to you on TikTok.
Well, that shouldn't be hard. I don't try too hard at it. I maybe post once a week or maybe twice a week on TikTok right now.
Yeah. I kind of got into it with some people. I had to drop my education on some guy asked, like he said, I have a degree in music. What's your degree in? I got to be like,
my degree is in antiperspiration.
Yeah.
What were you saying? What's your actual degree in? Do you have an actual degree?
I majored in music business with a minor in songwriting and emphasis in leadership, and I graduated honors in summa cum laude from Belmont University. Thanks for asking.
An actual education. There you go. I have a bachelor's in graphic design, which is functionally worthless for most industries.
Yeah. My brother went to SCAD and he draws caricatures on t-shirts now.
I've heard that that's a good living. Like, so you can make decent money if you're camped out in the right spot doing the caricature thing.
Oh man, he has a business out here doing it, and he does a lot of graphic design. He has some shirts with Roosevelt's that has "It's Always Sunny" characters on it.
Oh yeah,
he just did a Charlie shirt.
I know Roosevelt's. That's cool. So, yeah, he's got chops. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he did those socks with sports ballers on them. Michael Krause, I did not go to Berkeley, but I did get in and chose not to go. So
you walked in the door and then turned around and were like, no, thank you.
They didn't guarantee housing to incoming freshmen. And I never lived in a big city before and didn't really want to navigate an apartment.
Right. This is Berkeley Music?
College of Music. Yeah, in Boston.
Okay, so that's not Berkeley, California.
No, it was in Boston. Right. I really wanted to go, but I also kind of wanted a more diversified degree.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And I don't think about college anymore.
No.
It's been a long time since I thought about college at all. All right, does anyone have any questions in the audience? I mean, JC is telling us about his modded Strat, about to return my modded Strat to single coil, and taking out the bridge humbucker. I can't find the original pickup, so I'm putting a random Alnico single coil with 2 ceramics. That should be fun, mixing ceramic and Alnico, and then you'll get to really hear like the difference. Like, it won't be any question in your mind, like, oh, is there a difference between Alnico and ceramic? Now you'll know. One sounds like a bridge pickup, and one sounds like a metal pickup. Oh my gosh. Oh geez. Mark DeBrune asked, please give us the stats on the last podcast, downvotes, unsubs, etc. Oh man, that was the one where we talked about Rogan versus Young, and it did have a significant amount of people unsubscribing. The downvotes were significant as well compared to all our other videos, or normal kind of like upvote, downvote sort of thing. We lost 27 subscribers.
Drop in the bucket.
I'll never financially recover from this. That's a lot to lose from a single episode, but I still gained more subscribers that day than I lost. So it was worth it. It was all worth it. And the downvotes, like, it doesn't show us downvotes anymore. I have to go deep into YouTube to find that information, which means they don't even care about it and I don't even care about it. But the upvote information said that we had like 77% upvotes, and usually we have like 98, 99%. So a significant amount of, the Rogue Bros showed up to downvote us. Interestingly, we said that we didn't care for Rogan or Neil Young. We're like, this is all stupid. Who cares about any of it? No Neil Young fans showed up to like complain about us and tell us how we were bad journalists or whatever, accuse us of being awful, rotten, commie, liberal fascists like so many people did. And no Neil Young fans showed up to mock transgendered people and things like that. Interesting. Isn't that interesting?
That's pretty interesting. Oh yeah, very interesting. Yeah.
It's weird that I had to delete a bunch of people from YouTube following us who were flat out just attacking people who were different than them. And those people were here to support Joe Rogan. But no Neil Young fans were showing up, like trashing on people with different sexualities, people with different races, people with different genders. Like, isn't that weird? Isn't that weird?
It is weird. It is weird. It's like when the worst people in the world tell you that they'll pray for you and you think, I don't think I want you on my side.
It's just funny because like some people were following me around to different social media accounts to like chew me out for saying that whatever I said about Joe Rogan and Joe Rogan followers and stuff like that. And then they went and proved my points. So
yeah.
Like you did it. You really did it. You proved my points for me. I didn't even have to do it myself. So.
It's a real lack of self-awareness. On TikTok this week, I said something that I knew would ruffle some feathers. I said Sister Rosetta Tharpe, a Black woman, invented rock and roll. I'm not the first person who said this.
No.
I knew people would be like, no, I think this is the first rock song. I knew some people would have taken that Sun Records tour where they're like, Rock 88 was recorded here, and that's the first rock song because they have great PR.
Right.
Even though that's really, I don't think the first rock song, their songs, like the cool thing about musicology is that you can debate what's the first what. It's fun. And I was really shocked that nobody really took particular umbrage with the fact that I said a woman invented rock. No one took umbrage with the fact that I said a queer person invented rock. Several people were mad that I said Black people invented music, like rock music.
Right.
Like,
not music, but rock music.
Rock music, yeah.
That's a wild take at this point to think that they didn't.
Like, I really thought that was like, I didn't think that we'd solve racism like in any way, shape, or form.
No, it's wild to see people debate that. Well, there's not, everything is debatable, and a lot of things are very subjective and open to interpretation as far as history goes. You can look back from different sources, but I think we can pretty squarely say that rock was born out of a lot of
Southern Black performers.
Yeah.
Like, it was wild because one guy said the problem with you millennials is that, and I'm like, how is somebody this old on TikTok yelling at me? And he said something like, you may be right about this, but you got to stop taking Black people's side and take white people's side because you're white. Stop it. Like, basically,
there's no sides in the history.
I'm not taking a side.
It's not like saying that rock and roll originated out of African American music is not taking a side. You're not saying that all other races failed at doing it. It's just a recognition of where it came from.
Yeah, no, exactly. And then some people said, well, white people perfected it. I'm like,
oh gosh.
I would say Chuck Berry maybe kind of like took the earlier stuff and really turned it into like rock and like what we would agree is definitely rock. So I'd kind of say maybe he perfected it. Personally, like there's just like it's just so up to debate, and also it's just such a weird thing to say. It's like, why do you?
There's there's the historical elements of it which are pretty clear. Like like if you want to talk about who perfected it, then that's all completely subjective. If you want to talk about your favorite artists, that's all completely subjective. But to take the stance that African Americans didn't have a major hand in pioneering the source of this music is wild.
Yeah, it was very, very interesting. Did a lot of banning on TikTok that day. One guy said that if I'm going to credit, I would then need to credit the white people who invented the guitar, the electric guitar, amplification, and electricity.
I'm pretty sure God or the universe invented
like
electricity. No, give credit where credit is due. Like, give credit to the people who, developed the instruments, who developed the technologies, who took the existing music and made it their own and reinvented it. But also, like, that doesn't take away from the credit from the origins of the music and the origins of culture and things like that. Like people are. Jeez, like, it makes me sad. It makes me sad for humanity, that
it was really a bummer. I felt really naive because I didn't think that was going to be what people were going to take away from that.
Like, I once heard that like, I don't remember who it was exactly, like a parent of a family friend or a parent of a friend or something like that, like, was trying to die on the hill that Debbie Harry invented rap music.
Because she...
Right, because that was the first time they had heard rap music. So because that was their experience, then there had never been rap music before Debbie Harry. And
before she rapped on Rapture. Great.
Right. And in which song she lists the names of various rappers.
Oh my God. Amazing.
Do people think that, like, if you say that it was invented or like that it came from the history of a certain group of people, that means it's off limits to everyone else? No, that's nonsense.
No, that's nonsense.
Anyone owns it. Music is part of culture, and different cultures grab it and reinterpret it. And, it's you might as well say that the British invented rock and roll.
The British didn't even invent punk rock.
They didn't even perfect it.
No.
Big diss. Big diss.
Oh man, I get so mad when people say the Brits invented punk rock. I'm like, no, they took it from America.
The Brits
they had a lot of fun with it, and they did great stuff.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of things people say about the Sex Pistols and some other British bands and stuff like that. I enjoy the Sex Pistols. Like,
Sex Pistols were a boy band.
No, they are. They totally were. I think their music is fun. Like, I have fond memories of listening to the Sex Pistols for the first time and being like, wow, this is totally different than all the kid music that I grew up listening to and stuff. But then you grow up a little bit more and you find out the history, and then you compare it to other stuff that was going on at the time, and you're like, oh yeah. This doesn't have the weight that I thought it did. Greg Mock says Link Ray, the father of punk. I think that, he's definitely a big proto-punk sort of.
Yeah, Death, the band Death.
Also, Native American, not white. Something to think about. And there's a lot of people who argue that that blues and a lot of early American music and even country music and stuff like that has roots that are heavily influenced by Native American music.
I believe that.
Yeah, there's a lot of like kind of the syncopated like beats and rhythms and stuff like that are very closely comparable to Native music.
There's so much good music out there, and music is best when it comes together.
Yeah. No, like you like, if you say like, oh, I love peanut butter jelly sandwiches, and then someone comes along and says, well, George Washington Carver invented peanut butter, so he invented the peanut butter sandwich. And then someone else comes along and is like, well, Weber white bread invented white bread, so we really have to give full credit to Weber White, who invented white bread. It's like no, it's like all this stuff comes from collaboration and trading through cultures and stuff like that. And for anyone, for any one group to be like, well, they don't get to have that because we, had our say in it too. It's like, what are you doing?
That doesn't make it. That's just a very weird, narcissistic, and also insecure. It just bleeds insecurity to me to like not let people have their flowers.
I don't even know if it's insecurity as much as it is being a sign that they have a agenda other than the truth.
Yeah.
Or agenda other than like kind of like recognizing where these things actually came from. Like, if you're that hung up on like your side of the story that you're going to completely ignore things that are like just well accepted as truth, and you can find all the evidence for the truth. Like it's clear that you have some sort of other agenda, and it's not the music that you're hung up on, it's the race that you're hung up on, which is
it's bad.
It's worse.
And when I was like, especially when I was younger, like when I listened to a band, I would then want to know like who influenced this band.
Sure.
Like I loved Ryan Adams like growing up. I know it's bad now, but then he would talk about Graham Parsons, or he'd cover a Graham Parsons song. So then I want to go listen to Graham Parsons and Emmylou Harris and who influenced Graham Parsons. And I would go listen to their contemporaries and who influenced them. And it would just kind of branch out from there. And that's exciting. I just think that's exciting about music, is to then diversify it and figure out like what happened that enabled this thing that I really, really love to come together. And maybe you don't like all of it. It doesn't all connect with you, but it's really cool.
Yeah. I was on a Mustang Micro trip the other night. I was playing along to songs, and Elastica was a band. I was trying to look up the name. I was thinking Republica, but it was Elastica. I was jamming along to all these Elastica songs, and this video came up on YouTube that was like, oh, here's the band that Elastica stole all their riffs from. And it was this old like British proto-punk band sort of situation. And I'm watching this video and listening to it like, oh yeah, they totally did. And then I went and sought out that band, and I listened to those songs in their entirety. I was like, yeah, they were totally like riffing off this band that was like 20 years before them. And then I went back and I listened to Elastica. Is that I already forgot their name.
Elastica is what you said.
I went back and listened to them, and I was like, I don't care. I still love Elastica.
No. It's like, are you not gonna like Billie Jean because that bass riff was stolen from, was it Gladys Knight or Diana Ross? Probably Diana Ross. Right.
No, I like them because they're stealing good stuff. I like the stuff that they're stealing, and I want to hear more of it. You know,
I gotta say, there's so many Marty McFly references in this chat happening right now.
Wire was the band. Yeah. Floodland says Elastica invented rock. Oh, Michael Krause says Wire and the Stranglers. Every band has all kinds of influences. Every new form of music comes from something else. I was showing, I don't even remember the story, so I'm not even going to try to tell it. I was showing my kids.
Zeppelin stole from everybody. Yeah. Green Day steals from a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
21 Guns is like 5 different songs, including All the Young Guys.
Jason Welch says, Smells Like Teen Spirit was just a half-assed attempt at Boston's More Than a Feeling. Doesn't make it a lesser song. Yeah. There was just
I've heard that before.
I meant to like maybe do this on the podcast that we recorded yesterday, but man, I forget who did it. Some like super group of, gosh, was it was it Bruce Springsteen and someone else got together and they recorded a song as a compilation, and you listen to it and it's just a patent ripoff of the main riff throughout a Van Halen song. And I can't remember the exact details, but it is like the tone is the same. The riff is the same. It's just played like a couple of beats per minute slower and stuff like that. And then like the article that I was reading about it was like, and they don't mention anything about the influence to it. They're taking full writing credits for this, and that is the most bonkers part of this whole thing. Because you listen to them side by side, and it's like, oh my gosh, they might as well have just sampled it.
There are just videos up that are Green Day songs next to the song that Green Day stole it from.
Well, alt punk bands in the 90s, they only had one chord progression, so that's not hard to believe. Like once I figured out that all Offspring songs had the same chord progression, I got a little bored with
what was that bit? Are You Gonna Be Jet? Yeah. That song's just Lust for Life. They had like their they had their Iggy and the Stooges song. They had their Beatles song.
Yeah.
That was one of the most vicious Pitchfork reviews I've ever seen in my life. Because do you remember the Pitchfork review for that Jet album?
I never read Pitchfork.
Oh, you didn't have to read Pitchfork to see this review. You didn't have to read for this review. This review was a video of a monkey pissing into its own mouth.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I remember when that happened. I didn't care about all that stuff going on when it happened, but I had friends that were talking about it. Gross.
It was so bad and mean.
Was it the Strokes that like were basically like they had a song that was like just a part for part like copy of a television song?
Probably. Man, I love television. I used to make every guy I date buy Marquee Moon by television. I'd always take them to the record store and make them buy Marquee Moon.
Oh my gosh.
Well, they'd always try to introduce me to the replacements, so I might as well do something for them. Fuck.
If anyone else wants to join on and have their 5 minutes to ask a question or do a show and tell, I'm dropping the link into the live chat again. Everyone is welcome to join. It's just we're limiting how many people can come on to limit the chaos. But
you don't have this where you are.
Ranch water.
It's hard seltzer, but it's made with agave.
Interesting.
It's way better than normal hard seltzer.
There's a lot of hard seltzers coming out these days.
This is the good shit.
I don't usually drink them, but what have I seen around here? There's Cutwater around here.
Oh, I love Cutwater margaritas. Lots of sugar. So
my sister has a friend that was like an original investor in shoot. I can't remember the name of any of this stuff. Now they were an original investor in a brewery that blew up big, and then that turned into a hard seltzer thing that turned up. It might have been Cutwater. She might have been involved with Cutwater, and now she's involved with a new thing that is going to blow up again. So these hard seltzers, like canned cocktail things, is blowing up big right now.
Cutwater is awesome. They keep selling out at our grocery store.
St. Archer was the name of the brewery. So she was involved with St. Archer in the early days, and then kept moving on. Like the owner kept starting new things, and she kept getting pulled into the new thing each time. So she's all set up now. All right, let's see if there's any questions going on here.
THC drinks, yum.
I haven't tried any THC drinks. Like I'm really completely down with breaking my little edible tab in half and not having any flavor or any other sort of thing, and just getting it done really quick and having no one look at me by like, hey, what are you drinking there? Or what are you doing there? Like I'm happy to get my THC and have no one know. You know? I don't need to mix it with food. I don't need to mix it with flavors. I don't need to breathe it into my lungs. Like it gets in there just fine with a little pill, and then I'm done.
Robert has a question.
All right, I'll put Robert's question up here. At Get Offset at 60 Cycle Hum, I finally have my Squire Starcaster. I want to upgrade like Emily's, but wondering if Gun Street would be able to do same thing with push pots. Less trim is in the mail. So do you have like some sort of circuit mod on yours, or?
I have the Black Dog wiring harness.
Ah, how hard was that to swap out?
Pretty hard. Just with the like fishing things through, I'm smarter now. I've learned a lot.
Yeah.
About just being smart about like using fishing line and stuff when you send things through the first time, so you can fish them back through. I also have smaller hands, so it was a little bit easier to like finagle. But I bet that if you asked Sean to acquire some push pots instead of push pull, I bet he could.
Yeah, I've never swapped out guts in a semi-haul before, and I'm honestly really afraid. I got the big hands, so it's not going to be easy for me. I've seen people do the fishing wire and like the surgical tubing sort of thing where they put the tube on the pots and then pull it back through.
I did the fishing wire on something more recently, and it worked like a charm.
Every time I do a guitar wiring thing, well, not every time, but the majority of times I do it, I make some sort of mistake and I have to take everything apart again. And like, I don't want to do that with a semi-hollow. Like, I feel like that's something like I would pay someone else. I believe that Robert can do it because he's very handy. He's very crafty with tools and stuff. I believe that he can do it. He probably has more patience than I do, but that makes me nervous. Oh, Floodland says, "Is THC why you're so happy?" I am. Besides a little couple sips on this tequila right now, I am 100% sober right now. I use it for a sleep aid, so I usually take that around 8:30 at night, something like that.
Same. I have a little tincture that I just put in some water before I go to bed.
Whoa, this is a wild question. Any burger joints with boozy shakes near you is becoming a thing around here, but I assume California is years ahead of us.
We have them. There's one in my neighborhood. Yeah. We have the North Star Diner.
I have a boozy shake in Nashville. You were there, right? When we went to that guitar shop, and afterwards, what's her name took us down to the bar around the corner. Were you not there? I must have been with everyone else. You must have been off with the working class music guys.
Yeah, I was. That might have been the last day because then I went to see my friend Michelle. We got high and watched true crime. It was great.
It's Fanny's, right, in Nashville.
Yeah, you were. Oh, Ellen, they took you to
something Crow, like
Three Crow.
Three Crow. They had this. They had this like it was like a Frappuccino Slurpee kind of concept, but
they got you a mudslide.
It was super boozy. I had one, and it made me feel irresponsible enough to get another, and it was a clear cutoff point. Like halfway through the second one, I was like, "This was a mistake." Like here goes the rest of my day.
Oh, those have been huge in Nashville for years. If you had gone a little bit farther down the street, if you wanted some good barbecue too, there's a place called Edley's. That was the first place I remember them being.
Edley's.
Yeah, in my neighborhood, there's a place that does boozy milkshakes. Including a Brandy Alexander themed milkshake that's really tasty.
I'm trying to read the comments again. Can I get that boozy milkshake to go?
Oh, no, probably not in Nashville. Actually, maybe because they were doing to go cocktails.
Yeah, I think this is the thing. We have great beer in San Diego. No need for boozy shakes. I'm not going to say no need, but that like you definitely are in competition against like 50 different microbreweries, any restaurant, any bar that you go to. And that is like, that has been the hobby as far as drinks go around here for like a decade now, is just craft brewing. So
I don't drink beer.
You sniff it? You eat it? You freeze it?
No, I just pour it all over the front of my white shirt.
Right. No, I don't drink as much beer as I used to. I very rarely drink it now because of the whole diabetes thing.
Oh yeah.
Too many carbs for me. But like if I have a beer now, I make sure that it's going to be a beer that I really want to enjoy. And I don't buy 30 packs of Coors anymore. I'll say that. I'm going to let Jim back in if he wants to be here. Maybe he just wants to hang out. Oh, if he jumps on, I'll add him. But there he is.
I'm still here.
Yeah.
Sorry, making dinner.
If someone else wants to jump in, I'll let them in. I thought more people would want to jump in. So I did all this stuff to try to like limit how many people would be in here to keep it from getting crazy. And now people are like, well, I don't want to join.
Maybe everyone's making their Super Bowl runs for the grocery store.
My wife, she commented a little bit earlier. She's in traffic right now trying to get home from she's trying to get home from Costco. She went to Costco to get some groceries. And as she was checking out, people were pouring in the front door to buy stuff for Super Bowl. And as she was driving home, she started texting me like, the roads are a mess. Like I don't know when I'm going to get home because everything is just crawling out here. So Super Bowl is ruining everyone's life right now. Apparently.
It's crazy. I'm still a teacher, and I get out around 2:00. I live in New Jersey, and there was a bizarre volume of traffic today for no explicable reason at 2:15 on a Friday. Very strange.
Everyone's going home early. They're like, it's Super Bowl 3-day weekend. I'm going to take a half day off or something.
Everyone's just so excited for the Bengals.
Everybody's going home to get a good seat for the Super Bowl.
All right. I'm going to give you 5 more minutes. I'm turning this over. We've got 40-watt podcast joining, and then we'll give someone else a chance to join. You're going to get 5 minutes at a time throughout the show, and it's all going to add up to an hour, Jim.
You know, the one thing. Here's the one thing I was. This is something that'll be relevant. I was actually doing some research today because my main guitar is a Strat. I have a like a '78 American hardtail Strat, the one that has the bizarrely heavy body. It's the weirdest Strat you've ever seen because it's American. It's before I went to Japan. It's hardtail, and it weighs a ton. And it sounds fantastic. It's great. And I've had it. I think I bought it in 1985 for $400. But I have a stacked humbucker in the bridge position. But the thing that I was curious about, because I always thought that the 4 and the 2 switch position was out of phase because it gets that quacky sound, but it's not out of phase apparently.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I was reading, and it just has to do with the proximity of the pickups to each other that creates that hollowed out effect. And I didn't know that. I thought it was out of phase because I was looking up, how can I wire it so that I can get the pickups together but not out of phase? But that's not possible because it just has to do with the fact that the pickups are so close to each other, they're canceling out frequencies of the string vibration to create that quacking effect.
Right.
Which I did not know. I had no clue. So I'm stuck with the quack.
You got that. You got this. My wife just commented, are you still driving, honey? Don't text while you drive.
Oh, Lauren, no.
She said maybe it's heavy because there's treasure inside. So you might want to open.
Maybe she's in standstill traffic.
If only.
If she's in standstill traffic, then she's allowed to watch me live stream and comment. But honey, if you're moving at all, please don't watch this.
Did you say that was an American Squire before it moved to
No,
Japan?
it's an American Strat. It's like
So
78 or 79.
The heaviest guitar I've ever played was a 75 hardtail Strat that was in my local store in my hometown when they just opened. It was the owner's, one of his personal guitars. That thing was heavier than
that's my guitar.
any Gibson I've ever picked up.
Here, this is it.
Yep.
And it's a great guitar. It's fantastic, and it sounds just magnificent. But it weighs upwards of 1,000 pounds.
At least 1,000 pounds.
At least minimum.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. My chiropractor guys just.
Oh yeah.
He loves the guitar.
Conspiracy of chiropractors who put it on the market to get patients.
Maybe there's a B-bender in there.
People are always saying that they want Fender to release a new hardtail Strat, and they never do it. It's interesting that those have existed, and
it's weird. I love that.
That's because everybody who ever tries a hardtail Strat realizes I should have just gotten a Telecaster.
Well, they did the contemporary hardtail, and then
the Strat is so much more forgiving than a Tele. The Tele is so unforgiving. The Strat is so much more forgiving.
They are very. Like, do you think you look at guitars and you're like, well, a Strat and a Tele are pretty similar. Just the Strat has a middle pickup. They're totally different styles of pickups, and the physical vibe when you hold them is completely different. Like, there's there's totally valid reasons.
I have an '80s Squire Tele, and it's a completely different guitar to play. I got it way back in the day as my backup for my Strat, for, if I broke a string on stage, and it's a completely different guitar to play. And that's why I hung on to it, because now I'm doing something completely different if I'm playing that as opposed to playing the Strat.
Yeah. Now, every time I pick up a Tele, I do completely different stuff than I would do on any of my Strats,
Yeah, that brightness and that sharpness, it's just that the Strat is so much more, gives you so much more of a wash in the feel of it than a Strat and then a Tele will ever.
Yeah,
I really love a Tele bridge pickup, and I wouldn't mind having a Strat that had a Tele bridge pickup instead of a Strat.
So it's funny you say that.
Get a Tele with a Strat neck pickup. That's what I usually do.
Put
a Lala royalty in there.
That's what Steve's Telecaster is like, although he has a humbucker in the bridge. So.
I have a Jazzmaster Telecaster with a Lala Royalty in the neck. And so it's Jazzmaster shaped with a Bigsby, Telecaster bridge, Strat neck.
Here's what I'm going to do, Jim. Your time ran out, but there's no one else joining. So I'm going to let you hang out and tell someone else wants to join, and then we'll swappy. How about that?
Yeah, no worries. That's fine. I'm good. I'm happy to switch.
It's funny that you say the whole Strat Telecaster pickup in a Strat. The not to plug my own podcast, but this week on my podcast, I had Glenn Evans from Mr. Glenn Pickups in New Zealand.
Nice.
And he makes a Strat pickup with a base plate like a Telecaster pickup.
Nice.
We spent the entire episode, because I've been on a search for Strat pickups, right? I hate my Strat. I hate the way it sounds. I hate the pickups. So I'm going to get a set of his pickups that have the base plate on the bridge pickup to see if that makes it more like a Telecaster, which I think is the perfect guitar. So
someone was asking something. I want to go back and find that. You guys keep talking.
The Tommen guy?
Paul Casper was asking, how do you split your signal between the two Princetons? Will a stereo delay do the trick, or is there a better way? I've done it a bunch of different ways. A stereo delay, if it works, it works. It won't give you the option to turn one off or swap back and forth or anything like that, but it will split your signal into 2 amps.
It won't give you a ground lift either.
Yeah. For the longest time, I used an Electro Harmonics Switchblade, which is just a channel switcher, but it's an ABY, and the Y is both on at the same time. Now I've been using a radial headlight, which allows me to split to 4 different amps and gives me a bunch of different like ground lift and phasing options and stuff like that. And it's very handy.
It's kind of a fun one.
So you're not doing what I was describing before, where you're just slaving one off the other and creating an ungodly, overwhelming, high volume nightmare.
No. I run the 2 Princetons because they sound great blended together. They really fill each other out, because the Princetons by themselves can have a bit of like a nasal thin sort of thing, especially if you're running fuzzes through them. They sound great by themselves, but they kind of sound a little wonky by themselves recorded. And then running them both means that if I encounter a stereo pedal, that it's really easy to just flick over and start doing a stereo rig.
Get the effect going.
Emily, I need you to send me whatever that was you were just holding, because that looked amazing.
Oh, it's just by Red Noise. It's called their Switch Glitch. It's so pretty. It's just ABY.
Oh, that's awesome.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Yes. It
looks like it's it's 2 loops, an A and a B loop, and an
Yeah, this is what I use when I do. I was going to do more like comparing 2 pedals to each other, but people didn't really seem to respond well, so I just kind of stopped doing all that work.
I got one of the EHX Switchblade Pros, which would have allowed me to do really quick like comparison videos, and I tried it a couple times, and it didn't really seem to tickle anyone's fancy.
Yeah. I think I was doing them with like the Automaton. Like I think the one I did launch was comparing the Automaton preamp to just the Benson and like how they actually do sound. You can get the normal sounds with the Automaton.
Yeah,
it's pretty neat.
So here's an underrated.
It's only $95.
Oh wow!
Yes.
Okay, I may have to get one of those.
In Jim's kitchen right now.
I'm making dinner. I'm taking care of all sorts of things.
So
hold on a second, guys. Jim, you are being replaced. I'm sorry. Thank you for joining us again. Link is waiting to join. All right, we're gonna add Link to stream. He's playing in a Telecaster. Hey, Link.
Hey guys.
Howdy.
It was a fun.
How you doing?
I'm good. Hold that thought, Philip. We're gonna set the sands of time here. You have a question, you have a story you want to do in show and tell, or you just want to hang out? It's up to you.
Yeah, a little bit of everything. So got a little Telecaster here, a little player telly. So I had the Twisted Telly pickup set in there at first. I'm a big sci-fi nerd, big surf nerd, and big spaghetti western nerd all at the same time. So trying to make it all work at the same time. So I've got a little 59 in there now, though, in the bridge, but still the Twisted Telly neck here. So, yeah.
Sweet. Is that Fantastic Adventure?
Yeah. It's like a, I think it was greasygroove.com.
Nice.
I was able to get on there and, yeah. Fine. Basically just looking for like it's like half sci-fi, half, what do you call it? Like spaghetti western sort of theme. It's like Outlaws of Corpus.
That's fun.
Yeah.
That's fun. I like that you have headphones and you have a mic set up for this. Thank you for being prepared.
Yeah, I do live streams seeing friends throughout the week, so it's always set up and everything.
Nice. So what were you saying, Philip? You had something you were going a road.
I was going to say another underrated way to split between two amplifiers is one of my favorite boost pedals of all time. This is the
super hard.
Yep, the SHO. It has a single input for your guitar and parallel outputs for your amp.
I did not know that.
Yep. So I use it to run wet dry. I use it as a boost at the end of my signal to run to two amplifiers. It's a really handy way to split your signal.
Nice. Smart.
There's all kinds of pedals that will split your signal. Sorry, Link, I muted you because the guitar was much louder than everything else going on. If you want to unmute yourself to talk, go for it. Yeah, like anything that will split into stereo will work in theory. If it works is the rule. And you know, if you can't tell that something's wrong, then there's probably nothing wrong, because if there's something wrong, it's going to be really apparent.
Exactly it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I've done all sorts of stuff like that. Like I just have a stereo delay around or a stereo reverb. And it's like I need to split into two amps and just whatever works, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if there's any other questions in here. Jason Welch says, Ryan, you should do a Telly bridge pickup in your purple Strat. That's the Strat that has the Baguli neck in it, Bagley. I'm in a weird place with that Strat, because it really needs to have higher output pickups to go with that aluminum neck. I don't think aluminum necks sound good with single coils. I think they need humbuckers.
Mm.
Like that was my experience when I went back to Henning's house. There was a bunch of Baguli guitars there, and they all had high output pickups, and they all made a lot more sense, like sound wise. So I think I'm going to convert that thing to being at least a fat Strat. Maybe, you know, a humbucker, but maybe a humbucker single. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a top end thing, you think, with the aluminum neck? Just like the humbucker tames that a little bit?
I think you need to have, maybe it's the mid kind of focus sound of a humbucker works with it better. I think it might just be like too much jangliness, you know?
Yeah.
Like the neck and the frets get like the string extra jangly, and then you've got these pickups that are really jangly, and it's just a little bit too much. I'm supposed to be getting some pickups in from Bagley soon, which is their quad rails, which are wild. It's not quad rails like that. It's quad rails like that. And I want to have Gun Street put a wiring harness together that, I mean, that's 4 coils. Like, what is that? Like 16 options per pickup. So we might be cooking up some wild switching systems to explore what those pickups can do. I don't know if I've talked to him about that yet, but he's always down. Sean's always down.
Sean likes like stretching his brain. And I love that. I love people who like solving weird problems.
Yeah, and every problem I come to him with is definitely a weird problem. They're not even problems.
I was about to say, are they problems? No.
Well, things that require solutions.
Yes.
Right.
It's like a math equation is a problem. In that kind of sense.
Link, your time just ran out, but just like Jim, I'm going to let you hang out until a replacement shows up. It's up to you what you want to do. Oh, wait, there's still a little bit left. It's still going.
Gotcha.
And now it's out. Okay.
And now he's going to get you and your little dog, too.
I like this. I like this system. Like one at a time, you are guaranteed 5 minutes, but then you might get more, you know? Oh,
Yeah.
2 people just joined. All right. So that's it. Sorry, Link.
Thanks, guys.
For being out. We have got Chris from Coburg.
Hey, guys.
Hey, how's it going?
Hello.
You want to do a show and tell with what you're holding? Oh, you got some wine. Cheers. There you go.
Hey, up here in Canada.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, nice. How come you're not in a truck right now? All I hear about is these trucks.
Ooh, close.
Are we going there?
Political?
Toot toot.
All right, tell us about the guitar.
It's a J Muscus Jazzmaster.
Nice, a
I was
classic.
playing one of those last night at band practice.
They're awesome guitars.
They're
A
great.
friend had one, and I couldn't believe how good it was.
Yeah.
They were so affordable too. They're discontinued?
Discontinued.
Right?
Oh, yeah. For
It's a-
now.
it's a
Who
shame.
knows?
Yeah.
Love you guys. You guys are the best, eh?
Oh, thank you. You have any questions or anything you want to talk about?
You know what? I just wanted to say I watch you guys all the time up here in Canada. I watch Emily sometimes. I
Aw,
watch
thank you.
Ryan. You guys are wonderful. I don't know. Not really. Just saying hello.
Whereabouts in Canada?
I'm near Toronto.
Oh,
I
I thought
almost
you didn't pronounce the second T. I thought it was Toronto.
Cheers. Yeah.
Do you have a map behind you? Like, what do you have a map of?
That looks like a
It's
map of Canada.
Oh, that's Canada.
Did you need that just in case you forget where you are?
Ryan, you host a geography podcast. How did you not know this?
Obviously, it's
I couldn't tell. I couldn't tell from here. I should have a map.
Yes.
Steve and I should have a map that we pull down.
Dude, you can green screen a map behind you.
It's true.
I could green screen a map.
I got all my camp gear up in the back. I'm getting ready for camping up here in Canada.
Nice. What's the weather like for camping out there right now? It's got to be. I know Toronto's not the coldest part of Canada, but
Sorry, guys. I got some playback going.
oh, that's fine. What's the weather going to be like for camping? Is that going to be like snow camping or?
No, I'm not. I mean, for April and May, basically.
Oh, okay.
Just going through my pack, seeing how everything fits in my backpack.
Gotcha.
Finding that granola bar you left there in October.
It's still good.
It's still good.
Yeah,
it-
probably. That's the point.
It might
Right.
actually be better because it might have softened up a little bit. It might be chewy now.
Lauren's comment, though.
If
I want to
it,
show you this too, Ryan. This weird Squire.
whoa,
Oh, that's nice. Oh, shit. That's so cool.
That's rad. That's
Is that
totally
orange?
rad.
It is a Squire, people. It's not a Fender.
Awesome.
I like that wear pattern on there. Like
Yeah.
people
Thank
like.
you.
I'm assuming because it's a Squire that is a relic that
Yeah. My son and I did this.
Oh.
People crap on relics sometimes, but if you can make it look cool, I don't care. Like it looks cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's fun.
So
It's kind of like it has like a matte finish to it too. Like that's a fun look.
it's an Affinity with a DiMarzio Super Distortion.
Nice.
Nice. I think Philip was just holding up his guitar as well. What do you have there?
Oh, that's
People can
beautiful.
crap on Relic all they want, but I'm a massive fan.
Mm.
Yeah. Is that a Revolta?
Nope, it's a Novo.
Novo.
A Novo, that's right. I played that, didn't I?
Yeah, they
You
can
played
crap
this
on it all
guitar.
they want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got my Supersonic that I reliced, and I've reliced all kinds of things over the years.
I'm waiting for this to relic naturally.
Yeah, the thousands of gigs you got to put on it.
So, Emily, does that Telecaster still have the lightning underneath?
No.
Ah, that would have
Oh,
been
that would have been awesome.
No.
It's so good.
For everyone that's not familiar with that guitar, she picked it up last summer NAMM in Nashville, and it had like purple lightning art on it, and the clouds were naked ladies.
They were shooting lightning out of their buttholes.
It
It's
would have
so
been
good.
It would have been
was
so
so
funny.
good.
Like if you
I
kept
did.
forever.
My friend and I went out to her garden and we did a photo shoot. And she took some pictures where she's just ripping her bong while holding this guitar. It's so great. I laid down in the grass, took some real sexy photos with it, and it just started raining. It was so great.
Oh my
love
god!
It would have been so great if, as it relicked, like the lightning, the clouds started to come through.
No,
the finish.
I'm not doing that again, man.
Ladies are the first thing to pop through, and you're like, I swear there's lightning. It's not just naked ladies under there.
No, it couldn't live like that. It was such a weird poly, like it was such a weird, like lumpy paint job. Y'all touched it. You remember how lumpy that paint was? It was gross.
I checked it out.
Oh,
hey guys.
Yeah, it wasn't a great job.
We got Sporty right here. He
What's
gets
up,
to
Sporty?
catch in on the last like minute or two that was left, and then I'll turn you over so you'll get some extra time. And Trent is waiting to join too. He'll get to join when your time is up. How do you guys like the system? You guys like the system? Everyone in the comments? It seems like it's a lot more orderly, right? We have 94 people watching. I think last week we ended up with like 40 people watching because it was so much chaos.
This
Well,
makes
it's
much
like I
more
keep
sense.
hearing like everything y'all just said, and then it's like I keep hearing it again.
Oh.
You gotta
So
close
that's
out the
what-
YouTube.
Yeah,
Well,
you got to close out the
like,
YouTube.
I'm
You
trying
gotta
to
close
figure
out
out
the
where the
YouTube link.
conversation's at because I have no idea.
I'll be back.
Okay. You were on that delay last time, huh, Sporty?
Yeah,
He's-
yeah, I think that's what happened last time. But it was like I was trying to listen to what everybody was asking me, but it was just mass chaos. So I was like,
Yeah.
I think the reason last time was because I think you still had the YouTube window open and it ended up on a delay. So you weren't hearing it until minutes after we close the YouTube window.
Maybe that was it. Yeah.
all right, I think that works.
Yeah, now you're,
Oh
now
yeah,
you're with us.
I'm a moron. That absolutely works.
no, if you're not used to doing this like we are, you don't realize that that's a thing you've got to do. It's like when people would call into radio stations and they'd still have the radio on in the background. And the first thing the DJ's like, turn it off.
Well, that's why I started using headphones because I knew I would get like back play and repeat. So, you know, I have a mic over here and everything. But yeah, I was trying to, and that's what it was now. And I just feel like a moron for not picking up on that a lot sooner.
It made for an interesting time.
Yeah, how many
yeah.
dumb things I do while I'm filming demos where I'm like, what? Why is it? I don't understand what's going on now. And I have to like scrap like 40 minutes out of a video because I'm like trying to troubleshoot something. Like I was filming an amp today that's not announced yet. So stay tuned next week, guys. I was filming an amp and I turned it on and the amp had delay built into it. I turned off the delay, but I was still hearing delay. And I'm like, why am I hearing delay right now? And I spent like seriously 10 minutes. I plugged the amp into a computer because there's like a software side of it. And I'm like fiddling with it. I'm turning it on and off. I'm rebooting things. And then I realized I'm running my pedal board into it, which is like my utility pedal board, which has a Boss DD8 on it. Automatic turn on when you power up. And that was the delay. And I was sitting there for 10 minutes trying to figure it out. And I felt like such an idiot after 10 minutes.
Don't feel bad.
A couple days ago, I had a power supply plugged into my wall, but it was the brick to power the power supply. Well, my idiot self grabs that cord, plugs it into a pedal, and I'm pretty sure I fried the pedal.
Oh no.
So,
No.
I gotta take it apart and get my voltage tester out and figure out what part's fried. So
Oh no.
Every
I did
time
I did that the other day.
Every time I deal with a pedal that needs like 12 volt or 18 volt or some sort of weird amperage or something like that, it freaks me out because I know I'm going to do something out. Like anything that requires weird power should come with a cable that's bright red or something like that, so that you don't.
Well, at least they do for the reverse polarity, so you don't fry those.
Or it
The
should
end
come-
is bright red.
Or it should come with a plug that is not compatible with any other pedal.
Yeah.
That would be the best.
I had the I had the Pigtronics, the Resitron and the Mothership, and they take 12 volt, and I got super paranoid when I took them off my pedal board and I needed to switch the jumpers on my Chalk's power supply so that it would go back to 9 volt. I'm like, I looked up the manual, flipped them back, looked at the manual like 5 times before I'd plug another pedal up into that slot to make sure I didn't fry something.
Yeah, I mean, because it was like the pedal worked and everything. Because I had previously taken it apart to do something with it. I don't remember. But it worked fine, and then I grabbed the wrong wall plug-in, and but I didn't get any smoke or weird electrical smells, so
it might be okay. It might be okay. Give it,
maybe just like the LED burnout or something. I don't know.
Fingers crossed.
I'm crossing my fingers for you.
What pedal was it again that you might have
It was it's a Mosky or Mosky, whatever. The Golden Horse, but the big one.
Oh, okay.
One of those.
At least it's not something that's worth like dollars.
Yeah, it's not like a $200 pedal or a $100 pedal for that. I think it was like a $60 pedal. I'm kind of like, whatever.
Totally.
I did that to a Dwarfcraft pedal once, and I felt so sad.
Oh no!
I don't think I've fried any pedals. I fried an amp.
You did, and then tried to fix it.
I've accidentally plugged in a couple pedals and seen them like struggle and been like, oh shoot, like light started freaking out, or like they like went into some sort of auto protect mode, and I got so close on them. But I don't think I've fried any actual pedals so far in my life, which is saying something because I do a lot of dumb stuff.
Yeah, I'm definitely pretty that. I'm gonna chalk that up as just a loss on that one. So,
my fear is always fuzzes with the reverse polarity. I'm super paranoid about those. So yeah.
What
and I have a few of those in my life.
Oh, so like an orange or a tangerine or something like that. Like I thought you were eating with chopsticks. It's
an orange, but this is a little orange peeler.
Yeah.
A little slicer dicer guy.
Well, I was very inspired by Ryan's Pizza Fuzz video.
Yes. Speaking of Pizza Fuzz, look who's waiting to join.
Ooh!
What's up, Grant?
Hello.
Sporty has about a minute left, and then I'll kick you out. But I figure I'd bring in Big Ear as Sporty eats his pizza.
I'm drinking tea with the exact knife in my hand.
Yeah.
Steve and I ordered $90 of pizza for our podcast night 2 nights ago. Yeah. And it wasn't as much pizza as that sounds. It was kind of expensive. So.
Did you add gold as a topping?
You know how like they say in New York, like a slice of pizza keeps up with the price of like a subway fare or something like that. Well, in San Diego, the price of pizza keeps up with real estate prices. So that's.
Yeah, I was gonna pick up a pizza for band practice, but the pizza place that's like 2 blocks away from my drummer's house, small pizza was $22.
Ooh.
I'm like, I love you all, but not $22 for a
that
small pizza.
is offensive.
Yeah,
I was mad about it.
There's my pizza right there. Yeah,
the place is so cool, man.
The place that we ordered from, it was like $24 per pizza, but they were the big ones. They were the large size, not like New York style large party pizzas, but they were not small. But after 2 pizzas, a salad that we tacked on, and then delivery costs and tip, it was $90. So it adds quick.
So I've got a question about pizza. So maybe y'all can tell me. I've had pizza pretty much across the U.S., and I've never encountered this except in this pizza place here in town. And I'm assuming they got it from somewhere, but they have a sweet crust, and I hate it.
Like honey on it?
No, it's like it's almost like there's almost, it's not like pastry sweet, but there's a sweetness to the crust that I can't stand. It's like
interesting.
I was wondering, is that a style somewhere? Like, I'm going to be real honest. I never even heard of Detroit style pizza until last year. Didn't know that was a thing.
I bet they stole the idea, kind of took like I bet it's a riff on putting honey on the crust, and they just kind of did it bad.
Maybe. I'm just not like everyone here in town says it's the best pizza in town. I'm like, there are 7 places better than that.
I mean, have you heard about tuna style pizza? Because they won't stop making that, and it's an abomination.
Hey, Sporty, thanks for hanging out with us. Your time's been up for a while. I'm gonna let Grant hang out here, and I'm gonna add in Austin, and he's gonna get a fresh timer here.
So, as far as the sweet crust, if I can say something, I'm originally from Pennsylvania before I moved to New York, and I grew up, all my life until the age of 18 or 19 in Pennsylvania. And in Philadelphia, they put sugar in the sauce.
That's got to be it.
And not just a little bit of sugar, but like it's got it's like a lot of sugar in the sauce.
Sweet.
But I thought
It's sweet
Phil
sauce.
said
And
the
it sounds weird.
crust.
It tastes really good.
Whoa,
the
Brian,
This might be that same school of thought. It might be like, they're like, hey, well, let's make the crust sweet too,
Yeah, that's got to be it.
Brian said had sweet pizzas in Brazil. It's a thing. Chocolate with strawberries. That's like a dessert.
I've had that for dessert. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that sounds. I would actually really like that. And again, it's not like I won't say it was disgusting. It was edible pizza. It just wasn't amazing.
Yeah,
That's for you, Ryan.
I apologize. I'm looking down a lot. I'm actually doing something that's a surprise that I'll show you in a couple minutes. So
I think I have a vague idea of what it is.
Karen shared a video of it, so you might have seen it. And I'm just now finishing it, but
I'm gonna reset Austin's timer when it zeroes out.
Yeah, Austin needs a reset.
We're gonna ask you questions and give you your dedicated 5 minutes. I want to say that there's a pizza place in town here that we used to go to a lot, and they would do a dessert pizza that was like a cinnamon dessert type of crust with frosting and like chocolate chips and stuff like that. It was delicious. The problem with it was they would cook it in the same pans as the regular pizza. Sometimes you would get a garlic taste.
That's like the places down here that'll fry fish and chicken and French fries all in the same vat of oil. I'm like, please stop doing that.
That sounds
that's fine.
Kind of good sometimes though. Like if I'm drunk, I want those fish fries. I want a little bit of fish fry taste.
I mean, I will eat all of those things in the same bucket. So why the fuck not?
I mean, it makes sense, but
I mean, fish and chips. Is it the chicken and the fish that you're?
I think so. I don't want fishy chicken. No, let's just put it that way. I don't want fishy chicken.
Okay.
The chicken of the sea.
Fishy fries works, but
it's more like the chicken of the lake.
What if they use the same oil to do fried Oreos?
Right.
Yeah,
if you fried fish and then did fried dessert things in it, no, you can't.
We did do fried in the restaurant I used to work in. We did do fried grits and fried cheesecake in the same vat as the fried fish oil.
There's a sushi.
Fried grits sounds bad.
No, it's surprisingly good.
Grits sounds bad.
There was a sushi place locally that if it was your birthday, you tell them it's your birthday, and they would bring you a tempura fried cheesecake slice, and it was
oh, it sounds so
good. It was divine. It was amazing. And they closed, and I'm never going to have it again unless I make it for myself, and I'm not going to talk myself into that. Once I bring that home, then I'll die immediately.
Yeah, not with the diabetes.
No, I can't. I can't.
I think we're stealing Austin's time again.
Oh, well, it hasn't restarted.
We are reset.
Oh, good.
Now. Austin, you have the floor. Do you have any stories? Do you have a show and tell? Do you have any questions? Oh.
We have a comedic genius in the house.
We can't. Austin doesn't know we can't hear him yet.
We can't hear. Oh, we can't hear you at all. You just walked away. Like, this is the funniest guy we've had ever.
Yeah, it was perfect. It was absolutely perfect.
You have the floor.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh man, he's been waiting for so long.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, now we can hear you. I will start the timer.
All right. First off, from Brooklyn, so the pizza stuff was great transition, and I'm from Harrisburg originally, so I know all about the sweet sauce. Yeah. My
dude,
question...
I'm from Lewistown. Pennsylvania, right down 222.
Holy shit!
Neighbor.
I'm a big fan of yours, so that's.
Thank you, man. And then I lived in Brooklyn for the last 7 years before moving here. Lived all over Manhattan before that for a couple years, but
gotcha. I've been out here for 3 years, and I'm in Bushwick right now. But,
nice.
Yeah. So I worked at Guitar Center for a little bit. I know, but it's fine. We all go through there.
Some of my best friends work at Guitar Center.
I just feel like there's such a stigma, and I know on the 60 Cycle Hum podcast, everyone loves to talk about Guitar Center, but. I was working there, and this widower brought in this guitar. It's a 97 MIJ Strat. I put a different pick guard on it, but pretty much I picked it up, and it was one of those things that I've always heard about, like where you fall in love with the guitar. And so it was in pretty bad shape, and Guitar Center was pretty much like, we'll buy it from you, but we have to restore it. And right after they got done restoring it, I bought it. But I don't know much about MIJ Japan in the 90s. And I've like Googled it, and I was curious, you know, like what can you tell me?
Interesting. I'm the wrong guy, but if you hit up Steve, like I bet he knows like, a ton of stuff off the top of his head about it. Hit up Steve on the Facebook group, post a picture of it and tag him, and I'm sure he'll have things to say, because he owns an MIJ Strat that is amazing. It's remarkable. Like, it is the fastest playing guitar I've ever encountered in my life. Like, I told him to raise the action because it was too fast.
All right, yeah.
You need a handicap, huh?
So I will tell you the little bit I know about the Japan series in the 90s. So everybody knows about the Japan-made Squires of the 80s, and that was their attempts at budget line instruments. And the problem was this may be complete folklore, but the tale is that when they first started getting the first Squires in from Japan, the guys in the American office brought some up to whoever was running it at the time, and so, we've got a problem. And he handed him one of the Japanese Squires, and the guy said, "Are they terrible?" He said, "No, they're better than what we're making here." And so they that may be folklore, but that's a story I've always heard. So they eventually moved Squire production. I think next was Korea, maybe wrong in my timeline there, but then they decided to take advantage of the Japanese workmanship in the 90s and create some lines of guitars that they didn't feel like they could make in the American shop that would sell as well. That's where the 90s Japanese made the Paisley Telecaster was remade in the 90s in the Japan. And you'll see some, they make it to America, the ones that make it, sometimes we'll have some options we're not used to seeing on those guitars, because it gave them a little more range to do some pretty incredible things. But I would put a Japanese-made 90s Fender guitar up against anything the American shop was putting out in the 90s.
Wow. That's good to know. I mean, I love the guitar, and I'm definitely one of those people where, you know, it doesn't matter the cost or anything, but the fact that it has such a kind of cool story, like mystery behind it, it does add to the love that I have for it. So yeah, thank you guys so much. This is so cool.
Of course.
Absolutely.
So I have a question.
Okay, you go ahead.
I have a question real quick, because I've had this is a predicament. I want one of the Wayne's World Strats, but the first Wayne's World Strat is a Japanese Squire, and then the Wayne's World 2 Strat is a Mexican Fender.
Yep.
So, do you buy the Squire or do you buy the Fender?
I'd buy the Squire.
Squire, because the one in the movie was a Squire.
Well, that's the initial. That's the guitar one.
That's the one I want. That's the one I would want, is because that's where it's tied to for me. I'd get the Squire.
Both.
My time.
Why not both?
Yeah, there's always a reason to buy two guitars at the same time that look similar and both are tied into the same movie franchise.
Yeah.
I can't talk you out of it. So your time's up, but what I'm going to do is, no one else is waiting right now except for Chris wants to come back in.
Hi, guys.
I'm going to let you guys both hang out. Do you have something new to say, Chris? I'm going to let you both. I'm going to let you out until someone new comes in, and then I'm going to kick you both.
Totally. I just wanted to quickly say I got the audio issue figured out, and thank you guys for chatting about it there for a second.
Sure.
Also, I just sold one of those Wayne's World Strats about a year and a half, 2 years ago. It was the Japanese one with the 7.25 radius, I believe, like the old radius.
Oh,
Didn't agree with me. Some guy had another one, and he wanted to collect them, so I sold it to him. Emily, Marquee Moon's one of the best albums ever.
Hell yeah.
Yes, this is why I always make men buy it.
It's great. That's great. I love it too. I got it on vinyl. 40 watt. Your description of the Squire stuff and the quality was outstanding back then.
Unbelievable. It made no sense.
That Wayne's World Strat was outstanding, and it was mint. This guy kept it nice, you know, up here in Canada in the cold. I don't know where he kept it, but anyway. And yeah, I just wanted to know, guys, are you interested in trying out any of those expensive 40th anniversary Squires?
Oh man,
how expensive are they?
Well, up here in Canada, after tax, you're looking at like $820.
I think they're $5.99 here.
There's seven.
Oh, I mean, I asked Stephen for one, right?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Anyway,
you asked Fender for one of them, so you don't know what they would cost. You just know that you want one.
I like proposed the idea of getting one,
right?
No, but I might buy one to demo because some people in my band we're thinking about putting in an order for like some boards and stuff, and we do get a discount when we buy things through them, which I mentioned before on the show.
Cool.
So maybe.
All right. We got Trent waiting to join. He was waiting earlier and then left. So thanks, Austin. Thanks, Chris.
Thank you guys. Yeah, see you guys
Cheers.
later. Peace and love.
Bye, Austin.
Oops.
Oh, big
Big
Ryan.
And then welcome, Trent. You're finally here.
Hi.
Hello.
How you doing?
Doing good. How are you?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
You got any questions, stories? Got something to show and tell? You just want to hang out? It's up to you.
I mean, maybe I'll just hang out for a bit. You know.
That works. Absolutely.
Yeah. I'll set your timer. Same rules. If someone else shows up after the timer runs out, then that will be it.
Good rules.
Yeah, it works. I feel like I finally figured out live. 8 years into doing video.
We've only been doing this since the pandemic.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
I really wasn't doing lives before. Figure out which.
I do a Sunday night Instagram, and it's just me usually, and it's just easier that way.
I haven't had any success doing lives on other formats. Like,
I'm not having real success, but Grant comes and hangs out, and I've got this like handful of 20 or so people that pop in and out for a couple of hours, and it's fun.
My guitar talks on Friday lunches have been doing pretty well.
Nice.
So this has been fun. But I just got this iRig Stream Pro, so
you have to tell me how that is.
TikTok a lot more. Oh, I want to do a whole demo.
Yeah, well, I want you to try it. Just do a test on Instagram, because Instagram has been my pain.
Oh, it's gonna be. It's. I mean, as far as audio goes, it's the same. It's platform agnostic, and it'll work. It's the same even if you're just recording like just direct video to your phone and saving.
Yeah. Is platform agnostic an actual term?
Yes.
I've never heard that before. So it doesn't believe in platforms, or is not sure platforms exist.
It believes doesn't care what platform
it says if platforms exist, they don't care about us.
They don't care about which platform you believe in. They can't prove one platform exists over others. I was agnostic for years before I went stone cold atheist.
So the reason I asked, I bought the whatever they're calling it, the Volt, the Universal Audio Volt, because they said it would work with smartphones. And so I was like, awesome. This is going to become my live stream tool, TikTok, Instagram. Except that when you plug it into your phone and go to Instagram and Instagram only pulls one side. It gogoes left or right, but you got to choose.
Okay, so you can actually use. Are you using your phone or using OBS? An OBS
phone. Using my phone because phone can go directly into this.
I recommend maybe using an OBS, and there is one like additional step you would use in addition to your OBS, and it sucks, but it will solve that problem for you and doesn't cost $129 to $200.
Yeah, I was thinking about that as my next solution. I was talking to Joe about that actually.
Mm-hmm.
How much does the little iRig thing cost?
The Pro is $200, but it's on sale right now on Sweetwater, and Ryan does have affiliate links to Sweetwater. The normal one is $129, I think. This is you have to use get the stream though.
I don't think I even want to play guitar live on whatever, on TikTok, on Instagram, on stuff like
what
that.
In the background?
Huh?
Black strap.
Something is a question about a black strap behind you, Emily.
Oh, on your night sky, on your dark sky.
Oh, on your
Jazzmaster.
It was like some sort of
my rocket guitar strap.
Right.
Yeah, it's called Memphis. The Memphis design from Rocket Guitar Straps. Rocket Music Gear.
I don't want to stream, like myself playing guitar to TikTok or Instagram or whatever, but I do want to have a really easy to use mic interface so that I'm not relying on the phone mic.
You have to get the Pro. It has the mic.
I might pick up something like that.
Grant is making me nervous.
I'm doing something really fun.
I believe you. I'm just reading comments.
You're going to like it.
I would like it if I knew it wasn't something that involved one of my phobias.
Oh, no.
Me? What I'm doing?
Yeah, Philip knows what my phobia is.
I do.
Is it black olives?
It was something else you were cutting up earlier. It's mushrooms.
Oh, you're afraid of
mushrooms?
I'm kind of afraid of mushrooms.
Mushrooms are our friends.
No, they are. They lie about who they are all the time. They lie about they have doppelgangers. Sometimes you think they're your friend, and they are not. They look like your friend, but they're actually going to kill you, and I just don't like that.
I'm a pretty good judge of character, and mushrooms are all right.
What about the poisonous ones that will kill you?
They're cool because I mean, honestly, some people need that.
And this is why I love Grant.
Yes, that's so perfect.
All of you.
The stream became really sus for a second.
This guy right here. It's my favorite.
I have a weird. I don't like the texture of mushrooms as food.
I don't like the texture of mushrooms. I don't like the texture of beans, but mushrooms, it's gotten to the point where I'm just fucking scared of them.
I'm fine with them if they get cooked down to like a pretty decent crisp on a pizza. I'm totally fine with the flavor, but the texture has always been off-putting to me. Like they're just kind of spongy and a little bit moist. And
as Ryan makes Emily super uncomfortable.
Up here we have friends who literally forage for them.
Yeah, I've got friends who
and
do
I'm
that.
Like, but how do you know for sure that it's not the ones that kill you?
They studied. They have a whole mycological society where they join and learn to identify mushrooms. It's crazy. In fact,
not my friends though. My friends are just fucking hippies.
You think that there's got to be like a test that people can do, right? Like if you pick up you grab a mushroom that you're pretty sure it's food, but you want to make sure that you can clip it off and you can put it in a vial and it'll turn red if it's bad or something like that. There's got to be something like that, right? Because it can't all just be guesswork.
Alexa, will this mushroom kill me?
Like also someone came to our school once and she's like, I work in a mushroom plant, it's really safe. And then she talked about all of the stuff she had to go through to make sure she didn't accidentally bring in any of the evil spores into the good place. And I was like, that seems like too much work. I'm never eating a mushroom in my life. Like that was it for me, because like of all that stuff, I'm like, nope, too much room for error. And also another thing is, I was a picky eater as a kid, and my parents didn't realize that. They thought I was picky, but actually I had food allergies and they were poisoning me.
Yeah, that makes me sad. Like
it is sad, isn't it?
I would bum me out if I accidentally was doing that to my kids.
Yeah, so I had a soy allergy, and my parents were often on health food kicks, so they were like serving me like veggie patties that had a lot of soy
alternatives for everything.
Soy alternatives for everything. A lot of Chinese food. So like put soy sauce in my like rice a lot.
Meanwhile, you're swelling up and you can barely breathe and
barfing a lot, like really a lot of sickness.
Oh,
like just like never felt good for a very long time and was very skinny. Like this body is the result of not starving. Like this fruit. And like I was like, you used to weigh 118 pounds. Like, yeah, I was starving to death.
Yeah. I was being
I'm 5'7". That's not healthy.
You were being soy poisoned by your parents.
Poisoned. Yeah.
Poisoned.
Poisoned.
Poisoned. Oh my God. Someone's going to take that word and run with it for like dumb reasons. Oh, you guys getting poisoned?
Soylent Green. So then, like, there's a lot of other foods that I just didn't like. Also, that I kind of associate with that period in my life. Also, beans. Also,
Michael Krause. This kid is red and can't breathe. Must be a picky eater. Hey, why can't you open your eyes? Why are your eyes so puffy? You're crying from being a picky eater.
To my parents' credit, I didn't have anaphylactic reactions. You don't always have anaphylactic reactions to food allergies. Sometimes you literally just you barf. So I just barfed a lot.
Oh no.
And sometimes some kids just barf a lot. You wouldn't know, like some kids just have like a really sensitive tummy and they're just gonna puke sometimes.
And when I was born, my doctors told my parents I was lactose intolerant and they should give me soy formula.
Oh no.
And I asked my mom, like, what happened? She's like, well, you spit it up and I just gave you regular formula and you were fine. I'm like, that wasn't the first fucking
That
sign.
should have been a clue. That should have been a clue.
So when I was an adult, I got tested for allergies and they're like, do you want to get tested for anything in particular? I'm like, yes.
I've been really fortunate that as an adult, I don't have any allergies that I'm aware of, which makes me wonder, like, one day will I eat something I've never had before and I'll just fall over dead.
No, the worst part is you will just develop an allergy. I've got a friend of mine who loves sushi and seafood, developed a shellfish allergy out of nowhere.
Yeah, I had that. A friend had that with basically like gluten.
Yeah.
My brother claims that he has a shellfish allergy, which he discovered because he
lost at sea. I'm sorry.
He binged on like shrimp, like he ate like a shrimp all you can eat sort of situation, and then he threw up. I'm like, I don't know if that's the test, dude.
No, I think you just classically conditioned yourself. Your body now associates shrimp with vomiting.
Your body said no more shrimp. That's too much shrimp.
My husband did that with peppers. He was just like absent-mindedly eating from like ghost pepper salsa one night. He used to love spicy food, and now he has a skosh of spice, and his body just shuts down.
Yeah, wow. One night I drank 1.5 cups of Jack Daniels and vomited, and now I can't drink Jack anymore. I'm totally allergic to it.
Super allergic.
I believe you, Philip.
Are you guys ready to see the coolest thing?
Yeah,
you will have ever seen it in the last probably 3 minutes. Oh, you're not gonna make me
on it.
I'm gonna make you big.
Okay, it might have mushrooms, but the thing is, if you eat the mushrooms, they make you big. Okay, or give you like 1 up or something. So there's this dude. I know Emily. I think follows him on TikTok. This dude Seth handles Monster Duck Music.
Yes,
and
I love him.
So he sent me a message last night and said, "Hey, weird question, but that pedal, that's a metal enclosure, right? Just like painted or whatever." And I'm like, yeah. I mean, it's powder coated, and then UV printed, but it is metal. And he's like, so if I were to print out different toppings on like magnetic paper,
oh my gosh,
and cut them out with my Cricut, could I make custom toppings for the pizza pedal? And I went and got a magnet. I was like, dude, I think the powder coat won't stop it. It's a thick piece of steel. And I got a magnet. It works. And so this is the initial. This is the proof of concept.
So we're gonna hear. Oh yes,
yes.
Does this mean we're gonna hear it through his circumcised guitars?
Got some mushrooms, some black olives, and some onions on there, and they're like on there. Like
that's awesome.
That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing.
I went and grabbed a magnet really quick as you were talking. I was like, "Is it magnetic? I've got to see." It's magnetic. most pedals are not. I've tried.
So I think this is kind of silly.
God!
So I think this is kind of silly, but I'm going to make a well, it won't be a problem to do it with like little business card style magnets. I mean, it's probably not a problem to use even a bigger magnet, but still, I'm not going to recommend people use like 10-pound magnets on it. But anyway, so the idea now is that Karen has been wanting to get a Cricut, and I was like, well, I guess you need a Cricut now. So to just make different toppings for fun, it's not really going to be anything that makes any money necessarily, but we can put them in. It'll be like a fun thing. Put them in bags, plastic bags, and make a cute little label and fold it over and staple it like guitar string picks when you get them.
Yeah.
And then whenever you buy the cheese, we can just have an option and just be like extra $5 to get whatever various bags of toppings, and then
I love it because Supreme is my favorite pizza. So
just super quirky, super weird.
Like I love jalapenos on pizza.
Yeah,
exactly. Pizza.
So to illustrate how like rare that is, like the back of this pedal is steel, so it sticks. But like every other pedal I've got here,
most pedals are aluminum. Most pedals are
aluminum.
Yeah.
So,
and the pizza pedal is a folded steel enclosure made in California. The edges are welded and then ground down.
Yeah, I thought they had to be welded or something. I laughed so hard at his video yesterday when he was like, "No, Grant, are the insides the fucking same?"
Yeah, I was messing with him. It's kind of funny. I've seen a couple people in the comments. Not many people, but there's people like it's just a fuzz. $199 is way too much for a fuzz. And
I'm
it's like
they don't get it. They don't get
the enclosure.
You can't buy. You can't buy the shape.
That enclosure costs.
You cannot buy a triangle pedal enclosure. You cannot buy a triangle enclosure for anything. You have these custom made.
Which we had to have designed too.
To custom design and weld this shit.
They're like 4 times more than a regular pedal enclosure for us.
It's wild. Like anyone who like questions it, like they don't understand the industry at all. They don't understand how remarkable it is at all.
And they're telling on themselves.
Yeah.
Right.
See, my thing was I think it sounds great. And this is where I know I'm in the minority.
I paid $90 for actual pizza.
Yes.
Yeah.
This.
And that's just gonna turn to poop.
That's exactly right. It literally turns to shit.
I paid $90
for shit. One is the shit.
Right.
I paid $90 to clog my bathroom.
It's gone. That pizza's gone now. This pizza will be here forever.
I paid $90 to wreck my toilet.
Yeah.
I'd rather pay $199 to wreck my tone. To wreck my pedal board.
And also that people just have to understand that like the way things are, $199, $199, you're gonna understand that's like the standard for something that's not just completely made in a I'm not gonna go, but made in a place in a terrible working condition, or maybe in not a terrible working condition, not the best.
It was made in overseas. America.
Yeah, it's made in America, custom made.
Where people may be exploited.
Exactly.
I don't know how you made it for. I was shocked that it was only $199.
Yeah, the fact that you can get that pedal into that enclosure for $199 is bonkers.
People have no idea how much things cost, and again, the people who were like not understanding that the enclosure and the customization of it is so much of the price. They're just telling on themselves.
Yeah, Michael Krause, 6% of a clon.
Right. I had a phone meeting with a manufacturer recently who has a pedal that comes in a very unique enclosure. It wasn't you, Grant. It was a very big company. They have a pedal that's in a very unique enclosure, and they were telling me about how they were going to try to do a unique finish on this enclosure for a milestone that they hit. And they had it mocked up here in the States. They had someone locally do the unique finish, and then they sent it overseas to the factory that makes the enclosures for them. And they're like, oh, we want to order, like a couple pallets of these to celebrate this big thing. And the factory was like, listen, you guys, you don't know this because we're telling you this for the first time. There's already a 50% failure rate on this enclosure. And that's huge. That means 50% of the enclosures come out of whatever process they have to make them with too much quality control issues for them to use it, and it just goes back in the smelter. Like, that's the reality of custom cases.
Yep.
Like, it's not a cheap or easy thing to do, to make a custom case. So if you see a custom case on a pedal, like, that's special. That is something really unique. Just
50%.
50%. And they're like, we could do it, but we will have to change what we're charging you for these enclosures. And we're already charging you plenty because of what it costs to make these things, you know? And this is a company that is ordering in bulk on a level that I'm going to give it away eventually, the vast majority of companies can never accomplish. So,
I mean, I can guess who it is, and I won't say it.
Don't say it.
No.
Some things are better a mystery.
No, I like mysteries. I miss mysteries in some things. It's why I don't read up about how they do things in movies, because when I watch movies, I like mysteries, and I've already ruined a lot of mysteries in music.
Sometimes I'm having a conversation, like a speculative conversation with friends on purpose, and what did any of those words make sense? Sometimes I'm having a speculative conversation about something, and I see them reaching for their phone to look it up, and I was like, "Don't!
No, it's fun.
I like the mystery. Let's agree to not know."
Remember before we could just like look everything up? Let's just have that conversation again.
Right. Like, we used to be able to bullshit everything, and now
I had way too many bullshitters in my life, and getting a smartphone was the greatest day of my life, so I could call them out on it. Just stop what you're doing right now.
Yeah.
But it makes me think about, like, do you remember Visual Sound had those dual pedals, like the Route 66 and the whatever, that had that crazy like home plate looking enclosure?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing else uses that enclosure.
No.
Like, how were those so cheap?
But they used them for a couple pedals, and they did huge runs of them. Like, they're probably still selling those things, you know?
Yeah, probably. Actually, I know they changed the enclosure later on before they discontinued those pedals. I'm assuming they're discontinued. But that enclosure was also it was such a unique, no one did that enclosure.
Steve had one of those, and I remember it being pretty cool. The Jekyll and Hyde.
The Jekyll and Hyde was a good one. Overdrive and a distortion. I think the Route 66 was an overdrive and a compressor. They also had one that was a chorus and something else. I don't remember.
Chorus and reverb.
That's it. Yeah. Wasn't it called like the H2O or something?
Yeah, the H2O. Those home plate.
It's an awesome pedal. It's actually a really good pedal.
No, they made great pedals. They're just
Did they change the shape so they're not like shaped like home plate anymore?
I think eventually they just realized, like, oh, we sell one spots. That's what we do. That is the bread and butter of our business.
Yeah. Oh, the Snarling Dogs pedals. I love those wah pedals.
Those were so fun.
And they made so many.
I wish I had bought one.
I wish I'd bought one of each.
I spent probably like 2 hours sitting in Guitar Center in the early 2000s or late 90s, like messing around with one of them. I should have bought it. I didn't have the money back then. Like, I think they were like $150 or something like that, brand new. And for me, that was an incredible amount of money. Yeah. And I was just like, oh, I really want to get this, but I'm going to get a wah. I should probably just get a Crybaby that's like $50 or whatever.
I love the fact they had one that had like fuzz in it, one that had overdrive. They had one that had ring modulator in it.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it was a wah ring modulator.
Oh, those Snarling Dogs look so fucking stupid. Sorry. They look so stupid.
I love them.
I'm sorry. Every time I look at them, like, they're like the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. Just like with the toes.
I love it.
Sorry, I had to look them up. They're so stupid.
I have a, you know how they have like the Swedish versions of movie trailers? Like people recreate movie trailers, but they do it as budget as they can, and it's all just like really made up, like practical effects using like plastic bags instead of like explosions and stuff like that.
I've never heard of this.
Well, this is the Swedish version of a Snarling Dog's wah.
That looks better to me. I'm sorry.
I bought this off of a guy.
What's up?
What's up? Yes.
I bought this off a guy really early in the podcast. We found the ad. I ordered it off of Reverb or eBay or something like that. The guy sold it to me. And then he realized, oh, shoot, you're in the States and I'm in Australia. This is going to cost so much money.
Oh.
And then when I told him, like, hey, I bought this because of, I covered it on my podcast. He's like, thank goodness it's just, it's going to somewhere interesting because it's going to cost me more money than you paid me to ship this thing. It showed up broken. It didn't work. It took me like 3 years to get around to fixing it. And now it works. But it's like an old Shin wah. It's an old Japanese wah. Someone attached a truck gas pedal to it to make it work. But there was
Snarling Dog bass wah for $99 on Reverb right now.
Ooh.
Snatch it up. Play them low notes.
I am going on tour with my bass for playing bass in May, so
I've been playing a little bit of bass. I've been playing the long.
I know. I need to do a TikTok response to you showing you how to play a song.
A couple people did responses, and I need to actually learn the responses that people sent me and start using them in videos. There were
I like the guy who just didn't play. I think that was who Grant just did that thing for. It was just like not playing.
Did he do one? I don't know if I saw him.
Someone did one where they just like, and then you just don't play.
Right.
You shouldn't play. which always makes me mad. There's one where Jeff is like, Emily, just don't play during the verses of the song, and I got real bitchy. I'm like, but I want to play, Jeff.
I've been spending a lot of time, like playing along to YouTube videos with the bass, with headphones and stuff like that. And it is like there's this. You're either playing a song where it's like you're playing so little that it hurts. Yeah. Like you're barely playing anything, and that is the part that is in the song. Like there are 3 notes, and you just play them in slightly different orders here and there and mix it throughout. And then there's songs where you are just throbbing bass, like, and you are like hitting, you're writing 16ths the entire song, and I've got a newfound respect for bassists, like trying to learn bass recently. Like
we cover What's So Funny About Peace, Love, and Understanding. And Bruce Thomas is a fucking animal, like from the Attractions. Yeah. And then we play like the hardest of the Jerf songs on bass. I'm like, why do we have to put those two back to back in the set?
Yeah,
I am so tired.
I started playing along to a lot of old Motown songs, and a lot of them have a lot going on. But a lot of them, once I figured out the bass, I was like, man, I love this song, and it feels so full. And just full of energy, and it feels like it's got all this low end. There is nothing going on with the bass. No. It is.
That was Jamerson's thing. He was just groove. He hit the notes in the right place. That was what mattered. I used to play upright bass for some blues guys and some folk guys, and I remember. And this is probably not the crowd to start throwing out blues tune names, but used to play.
Didn't catch the earlier part of this.
All right, I'm kicking him. He's gone.
No, well, it would only be when I was on upright that this one guy called out this particular tune called "Killin' Floor," and it's got this do 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 do. It's like on bass on upright. I hate him. Why are you doing this to me?
Because he was bored from the last 10
apparently. Yeah. To bring it back though, Emily, the one with the ring mod in it is called the Mold Spore. So to bring it back to the mushroom conversation, and there's one on Reverb right now for $329.
That's one of those ones that's so bonkers and weird that the freaks out there pay extra money for them. It's like this. It's like the digital space station.
Oh yeah, or like the DL4 now.
Yeah. Oh, those weird freaks who love delays.
Well, now that it's discontinued.
Right.
Sell them now.
I mean, there's so many DL4s in the world.
Yes.
Like,
and they all have broken foot switches.
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to really skyrocket. You could pave your driveway with those things.
Yeah. It's going to be a
good idea.
A very long driveway.
Brian, that'd be a great YouTube video.
If any guitar YouTuber had the amount of money that like your Logan Pauls and stuff had, there would be videos all over the internet of stuff like that. Like,
oh my God,
I paved my driveway in Klons.
Have you ever seen that thing where people take like pennies and like put all the pennies together and then like put acrylic over it, right? So it's like,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You could do that. Like make a table out of line 6s. Just like fill it with like, make a resin pour just full of DL4s and just like.
I'm so here for it. Someone please do it. No. There's got to be enough like broken DL4s in someone's shop somewhere.
60% of the DL4s ever made are broken right now.
Exactly. They've got to be like a pile of them somewhere that are like, yeah, I could probably fix these, but I think making a dining room table would be cooler. You know?
Oh God.
when we first...
someone needs to speak from the point of aesthetics. And a house that looks like a house and not.
Also, if you do that, everyone's going to know who lives there. Now you've got
an idiot.
Well, an
idiot lives here.
I'm also planning on buying a Futuro house someday if I can ever find one.
A what?
Do you know what the Futuro house is?
No.
They're amazing.
Look it up.
They're incredible. If you're able to look it up, Futuro.
Futuro house.
Oh, it's one of those flying saucer houses.
Oh no, they have things that are not dissimilar where my parents live.
Mm-hmm.
They're just like they have like weird round houses on stilts, but they're like plasticky looking.
But the Futuro house is just incredible. It's so, but like I don't know if I'll ever be able to get one because they don't really come up for sale, and when they do, they're ridiculous. And then you have to ship them from wherever they are in Switzerland or wherever. You know what I mean? Because there's only like 160 ever made, I think.
Why don't you just make one?
Make one.
You could, and that's my plan because there's one.
It's just a big ass tree house.
There's one that is you can rent. It's an Airbnb in Joshua Tree, and I want to go there and I want to take like thorough measurements of everything and pictures and videos and document the whole thing, and then basically just hire somebody to make one.
Wikipedia says less than 100 of them.
Wow! Oh wow!
We have a lot of the. Like the dome houses out here that are like they look like Dungeons and Dragons dice. You know?
God.
There you go. So everybody.
I just feel like an Airbnb weekend would scratch the itch for me.
The toughest part of the Futuro house is going to be sourcing those windows. That is going to be the hardest part.
I don't know. Just how I have a friend who works at SpaceX. Maybe she could tell me where to find them.
If I had more land on my property and a way to get it into the backyard, I would have something like that, and I would turn it into, my studio. I would.
That's what I think it'd be like the guest bedroom or something, the guest house when people come.
That'd be cool.
And just have like an outhouse for them. Beside
a bucket on a rope.
Yeah. All right, guys. I got to pack it up and go make dinner. Yeah. Huge thanks to everyone that joined and got their 5 minutes. And thanks to you guys who joined on to hang out and chat with me. I love you guys. Everyone go buy a slice of pie from Big Ear. We got to make sure that this is a pedal that deserves to sell out is all I got to say. Philip,
for the I can take a screenshot of this later.
Grant, I meant to ask earlier though, are you ready for years down the road when people start saying that they're certain that the cheese version sounds better than the pepperoni version?
You can hear it in the low end. If you can't hear it in the low end, you're just deaf.
No, the pepperoni version is spicier. I mean, it's spicier, so it's like it's clearly different,
Well, it's just way more. It's more fat.
Yeah,
it's fatter.
It's thicker, much thicker.
Yeah.
All right.
Cheese is thicker.
All right. Bye, everyone. Thanks for watching.
Bye.